by the year 2045, I think Bitcoin should be about $13 million a coin. It means that every Bitcoin that you sell today is going to cost you $13 million. I would not short it. It means every Bitcoin you don't buy today is costing you $13 million. It means that if you want to give $13 million to your granddaughter, just buy one Bitcoin, put it in their estate, and just let it compound. It's maybe one of the greatest estate planning techniques ever, right? And you can see the world doesn't have to turn upside down. Bitcoin just goes from being 0.1% of the assets of the world to being 7%.
This market breakdown dives into key insights from Michael Saylor as he unveils a fresh forecast and an updated perspective on the Bitcoin market. In this update, Saylor breaks down everything he sees ahead for the financial landscape, from macro shifts to market catalysts, and shares his long-term vision for Bitcoin's future. Make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. It helps us grow and keeps you in the loop with the latest macro moves. Let's jump in and unpack what he sees coming next.
I think you're going to see the money supply to continue to expand. I think you'll see 7% or more monetary inflation. I think certain assets like real estate will keep up with that inflation. I think that equity will outperform by a few percent because of AI and technology. I think eventually there'll be a million robots making a billion robots, run by a robot, and the company that owns the robots will be very valuable, right? Maybe that'll be Tesla, maybe that'll be Robot Corp, who knows? But I think that the Magnificent Seven, the big tech companies, will do okay. I think gold will gradually get demonetized. I think as people discover digital gold, they'll sell their gold, they'll buy digital gold. And I think Bitcoin is going to outstrip everything. I think Bitcoin, right now it's growing 60% a year. It's been growing 60%. I think that over the next 20 years, it'll go from 60% to 55 to 50 to 45 to 40 to 35 to 30 to 25. Eventually, the S&P index may be growing 12 to 14%. Bitcoin will be 50% more. It'll be growing 18 to 20%. It'll always be higher performance than the S&P index. It'll always be more volatile than the S&P index. But it will gradually converge on being 50% better than the next best thing. And if you work out that math in your head, it works out to about 29% ARR over 21 years. So people go, well, what happens if it stops going up? It's like, well, what happens if water stops flowing downhill? What happens if time goes backwards, right? What happens if the law of thermodynamics no longer holds? What happens when people decide they want less secure things rather than more secure things? What happens when they want crappy stuff instead of good stuff? Right? It's not going to happen. Right? There's a natural progression here, which is intelligent people are moving their money from a more disordered state to a less disordered state, from a shorter life expectancy container to a longer life expectancy container. They're moving from an unsafe place to a safer place. And that is the digital transformation of capital. The greatest transformation of the 21st century it's not digital photos, it's not digital books, it's not digital newspapers, it's not digital storefronts or digital menus or digital audio. Not that those aren't cool things, you can make $1 trillion company on them. But the greatest transformation of the 21st century is the transformation of capital, right? Bitcoin is digital capital. That's the profound idea. And digital capital is just economically and technically superior to physical capital. If I give you a bunch of money and I give you the opportunity to buy a $100 million building in Miami, and then you start thinking, or maybe you put it in Kiev, or maybe it's in LA, or maybe it's in San Francisco, or maybe it's in Istanbul, and you thought about it, what are the problems with the building? The problems are the taxes on it, the traffic in front of it, the tenants, the torts, the trouble, the mayor. The governor of California says you can't sell your property anymore to protect you, right? At one point, the mayor of New York rent-controlled every property you owned. At another point, they told you couldn't charge your tenants rent because they might not be able to pay it. You have all of these problems.